I'd like to ask, thank you, Peter, to start the recording. Now, I would like to welcome you all in today's meeting. Why are we here? And what exactly is this meeting? What exactly is Toastmasters International and all that stuff? Well, Toastmasters International, first of all, is an international non-profit organization which teaches leadership and speaking skills, public speaking, and also other like improvisation, giving and receiving feedback, etc. We are one of the clubs around the world with a specific mission and vision. We are an international community dedicated to helping its members to master their communication, leadership, and entrepreneurship skills by giving them a training platform and feedback to their performance. We do this by organizing online meetings like this one, and each meeting has its own agenda and its own set of rules. So let's go through them now. Agenda for today's evening is we will have 2 speakers, and both of them will have their own evaluators and also a panel discussion. Then we will have, as most of the meetings, some other evaluation roles like the Counter or the Quizmaster. But let's take it one step at a time. The first speech today is going to be done by Tereza, and what her speech about would be revealed to you at a later time. The second speech is going to be done by me. After the speeches, after each speech, to be exact, is going to be an evaluation by their dedicated evaluators, and after the evaluation there's going to be a panel discussion as well if anybody else wants to give some more advice. So it's going to be like first speaker, it's his or hers evaluator, panel discussion, second speaker, evaluator and discussion. The evaluators for the speeches for today are going to be Lenka for Tereza's speeches and Sonia for my speech. After the evaluations, there are going to be the roles of a counter done by our Teresa and a quiz by Damian. He's going to be giving you some questions about the meeting to test if you paid attention during the meeting. And after all these, there's going to be a general evaluation done by Peter to give feedback to everybody who hasn't received one yet. There are some general rules on the meeting. First one is, please have your microphone turned off unless you are speaking. Second, if you are going to be appearing on screen, if you could, please turn on your video. That's basically it. And I would like to welcome Peter on the stage, or in our case, on the screen, to tell us more about Tereska's speech. Peter, the stage or the screen is yours.
Thank you, Havran, very much. Hello, everyone. Today, Tereska is going to have her speech. It's from the 3rd level. And the purpose of her project is to develop and enhance her understanding of the steps and strategies to address conflict. So we'll see how that goes. Tereska, come and tell us more about that.
Dear fellow Toastmasters, welcome in my speech. As Peter said, I'm going to share with you some maybe advice, maybe examples. It might be interesting for you, I hope so. In the beginning, please raise your hand if you have ever appeared in a conflict situation. I believe that, I thought so. It's normal, it happens, and it can result in many different ways. It can be either good and beneficial for everyone when it's very well communicated, or it can end in long-lasting anger. And please raise your hand again if you think it depends a lot on a communication. Yes, my dear Toastmasters, I believe that too. I will share with you my example. I am an alpine skiing coach. Some of you may know that. And when you want to teach children something like that, you usually have a plan. Plan is really important, you know that. And our season is during winter, and in autumn, we usually sit down and have a meeting with other coaches to make this plan and to improve our ski club and to help the children. We had such a meeting in November last year, and it was really interesting. It was in one room, it was me and many other coaches. They were usually grown men with their own families. They had children, stable job. Okay, that was interesting. And in the beginning, it started like one big chaos. Everyone was shouting their own opinion and their own conditions, and no one was listening to another. And I was like, okay, but this is not how it should work. When you want to mediate a conflict resolution, first you have to know when you should intervene this communication. And that was my time. I said, okay, man, this is not how it's going to work. One after another, you will explain and express your own opinion to know what you really think. And they were surprised by my by what I said, but they understand that I have experience and this is not how it should work. Then they stated their own conditions. For example, one said, okay, I have a job, I couldn't make it from Monday to Friday, I can train the children on Saturday and Sunday. For example, me, I said, I go to school, I cannot do that too, I can do it on Saturday and Sunday. So we knew what was the conflict about. They didn't want to understand each other and they didn't want to listen. Then the head coach said that is not enough time to spend and that we have to come up with another solution. So I had one idea. And we were negotiating the discussion to come up with a resolution. I asked the question, what can you do extra to improve our ski club? Extra beside your schedule you have stated now. Okay? And they add something. For example, me, I said things like that. My school is quite okay, and some days are not as difficult as the others. I think I can make it occasionally 4 times a week. And they said, okay, that's something we can work with. And many others add something extra to what they said before. And we were trying to negotiate the discussion. and we finally came with a resolution of how we should solve this problem. So everyone knew how much time he can spend and the others can spend with teaching the children how to ski. And at the end, it was like we had the groups of children, and the ones that didn't have so much time were said to be the coaches of the youngest children who are maybe 5 years old, who do not require so much practice, and the others that could make it more times a week, they were working with all the children. And this is how I helped to mediate this meeting and this conflict situation, and it finally came with the satisfaction of all of them. In the beginning, I knew when to intervene, and I knew that I can do that because I had an idea how to do that. Second, I understand what the conflict was. Third, we were actively listening, and that was very important. And fourth, we were negotiating the solution. And that is, my dear fellow Toastmasters, how you can successfully mediate the conflict debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Tereza. Thank you very much for your speech. And now, for the first evaluation of your speech, I would like to ask Lenka on the stage to tell us what she has to say, like some ups and downs, some recommendations, what was good, what should be done better. Lenka, please, stage is yours.
Thank you, Michael, for the word. Fellow Toastmasters, fellow guests, and Tereza. Congratulations on very interesting topic about negotiation, a resolution of the conflict. I was hooked in your speech because, yes, literally I had the same examples or the same experience with the conflict. However, not so sophisticated steps and solutions have I applied. So what I liked about your speech and what improvements there can be. What I liked in the beginning, in the opening, I liked how you spoke to us and asked to raise the hands. In the body, I like that you use your own story and concrete example in 4 steps how you handle the conflict situation. And in the conclusion, I like the summary. I liked your body posture. It was stable. You didn't have any unnecessary movements. Your eye contact was clear and directed to the camera, and your gestures were open. When I saw your hands, I could see them clearly. And what to do or how to make some improvement? Well, I would give you a challenge. Turn your speech upside down. What I mean? When you are talking the story, use dialogues. Tell us more juicy information about the people. Describe them. Who is it? Erika, John, Peter. Tell us more about the people. Tell us more about their conflict from an emotional point of view. What was the atmosphere in the team? How did you feel when the conflict occurred? And also, when you give the summary, it's good to, when you give the conclusion, it's good to summarize the basic steps. And what I would like to hear more in the conclusion is not only how you solved or what we can do, but give us more examples where we can use this technique, in which field, And maybe you can give us a hint. If we have a troublemaker, how can we facilitate this kind of person? It might be kind of hook for another speech. So when I summarized the speech, I really liked the structure, the clear structure, opening, body, and the conclusion. I liked the summarization in the conclusion and example in 4 clear steps. What I would recommend or do it differently is use a storytelling skills. Tell us more about the persons, who they are, use dialogues, be more emotionally involved in the speech, and this also will give you more, how to say it, it will give you more, not like freeness and easygoing in the speech, that you are really over the problem. And that would be all from my point of view. And now I'm a little bit nervous because I don't see the timer. I don't know if I meet the time or not. And one cherry on the top of the cake. English, from English point of view, I heard one mistake. Listen to each other. So from my point of view, that's really all. I like the speech and I'm looking forward to more discussions with you about this topic, because I think that you have a lot to speak about. And I'm giving the word back to Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Lenka. Now I would like to open discussion. Does anyone have anything more to say to Teresa about her speech? Sonia, please, stage is yours.
Hello everyone, and hello Terka. I really like the speech, and I would just add to what Lenka already said, that I really enjoyed the voice you used, and you had a very good speed, and you were stressing the right words. So you were putting the importance on the moment and the pauses where they were needed. So that was, for me, that was really awesome. My suggestion would be, I liked it how you placed your camera, that we could see you nicely, clearly. I would probably just turn it horizontally, because sometimes when you had lower your hands, we couldn't see that, or I missed them seeing fully. Otherwise, you used very nicely the gestures, and it was really nice to see it. Overall, very nice eye contact, and I like that you counted, and it was very nicely visible. So for me, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sonia. Anyone else? Anyone else has some recommendations for Teresa? Okay, so if not, I'm going to close the panel discussion for now, and I would like to ask to the stage yet again our general evaluator. Peter, please, stage is yours.
Hello everyone, thank you Havran. So he called me back for a simple reason, and that is so he doesn't have to introduce himself as a speaker. So here I am. Havran is going to talk about his last speech, and the point of it was to make a speech and then get the recommendations for it, and then have another speech while incorporating these recommendations. His speech name was Gamification. So Havran, let's hear it.
Thank you, Peter. So let me start with a question. Please raise your hands if you play games. It doesn't matter if it's table board games, if it's card games or PC games. Okay, I see several hands. Do you play games rather with following what the developers laid in front of you, or do you rather create your own stories? Okay, you can use the reactions. Please put thumbs up if you like to create your own stories, or clap if you like to follow what was laid in front of you by the developers. Okay, thank you. Well, I'm a huge fan of video games, and I really like to do both. I like to follow what was laid in front of me, to see the vision that somebody else had, but also I like to create my own stories if I can within the gaming world. Well, why am I talking about games when the title of my topic is called gamification? It sounds like something else is turned into a game. And if you would think this way, you would be right. Gamification is a process of turning mundane daily tasks into a game. It works on a very basic principle, really, of reinforcement of a behavior by a visual or audio stimulus. So, think about it like this. You do something, and if you've done it good, you see a flashing light and you hear a sound. Does it sound familiar? I really bet that you have this on a daily basis when you log into Facebook. You get a message and you get a sound. That's a principle of game brought into a real life. And the gamification is not only used in social media, it is also used in education or workplace environments. And I bet some of you know about an app called Duolingo. Duolingo is an educational app that teaches you different languages, new languages, and it does it very creatively. Every time you have a test in front of you, there are experience points you can claim or earn. And if you have enough, you get a level, you get some diamonds, you can buy more outfits for your little green owl. Those are all the principles of the gamification. Our attention is very limited. We are bombarded on a daily basis in a TV, in outside world, by commercials, on the billboards. We listen to music, we listen to radio, we read the news, and that's really a lot of input for our minds to process. So most of the time, we just pay a little attention to what we are put against. We try to not stress our mind too much, and that's why gamification started to get bigger the recent years, because companies realize that the passive is not enough. You can watch 6 seasons of some TV show, and if somebody asks you what happened like in the last 10 minutes when he went for a popcorn, you're like, well, I don't really know. I was looking through Facebook while that. Our attention is very limited, and because of that, advertisers and companies really like to try to find new ways how to get us engaged, because only the active engagement gets them results in money. So they turn to the possibly best research in the world, the 30 years of gaming, because let's face it, the gaming today is the biggest and fastest growing that out of the all of the entertainment industries. Gaming is bigger than all the major sports. It's getting more money than the TV and music industry combined. And it's getting players active for very, very long time at a session. Have you ever heard of a story of some kids that played for like 10 or 12 or 14 or 16 hours straight and just passed out somewhere? Yeah, that's the active engagement game can get. So if we look at the gaming and look at the other media, how can we use the principles that get gamers engaged so much within the medium, and how can we use it in other activities outside the entertainment, let's say, for example, finance or education? Well, as I've mentioned, one of them is doing achievements and doing the experience collecting and then leveling up, like Duolingo does. And you would say, okay, but that's just a silly app. It helps you learn a new language, but it's nothing groundbreaking. Well, let me tell you a story about the groundbreaking. There was a university in Washington that was on the top of the field, but they had some problems. They had some problems they tried to solve and couldn't, even with the great funding, even with great minds and the professors and the associates and really, really intelligent people. They couldn't solve some of the puzzles, let's call them, within their field, and the field was biology. Well, they created an online puzzle game. They called it a Fold It. And I will make it short. Gamers solved 15 years stuck problem in a few weeks and helped them make an enzyme 18 times more efficient than it was before. That's what the world's top scientist with the greatest funding couldn't done, and it was done by the collective mind of the internet. Because they've turned it into a game. They was very clever about the approach, and they got the results. But that's only one side of gamification. Other side could be in finance. I'm not sure what are your experiences with credit cards, but I'm sure that most of you know about reward cards. You go to a shop and they give you a little plastic card. You sign your name and you collect points. And after some time, usually it's a month, the collected points could be exchanged for a monetary reward, which is usually some sort of damn, what's the word? I'm sorry, I forgot the word. They give you a discount. That's another type of gamification used, collecting some points and then using them against another goal. One of the greatest gamification principles in this way was collectibles, and it was used in Slovakia probably a year ago, or close to 3/4 to a year ago. It was done by a shop called Kaufland, and with each time you went to buy some groceries, if you reached some limit, for example, every 10 euros spent, you get a pack of random cards. And those were the Star Wars collectible cards. A lot of people really like Star Wars. So if there was a shopping you had to do, you could choose to go to Tesco, you could choose to go to Kaufland, you could choose to go to Lidl or Billa or any other shops, but only one of them gave you these collectible cards. And everybody wanted them. So with very little money invested, the shop gained a lot of volume of customers, repeatedly going back throughout a period of a few months to collect all the cards. Because let's face it, if you have almost completed the collectibles and you miss like only 1 or 2 more cards, will you really give up at this point after all the time you invested in the collection? No, not really. Gamification also is used in online shopping. There is this shop called G2A. It's mostly used to sell cheap video games or software codes. But they went a step further. And that's a little bit of dark side of gamification. Because they give you achievement points directly by buying. It is not like you buy something and you get a random. You get achievement, your first purchase, your third purchase, your fifth purchase, and after that you get another discounts. I could be speaking about gamification for many more hours, but it's not my time and not the place to do it right now. I just wanted to show you that the world around us is really changing, and to warn you about the changes that are going, because gamification is really a tool. It's like a fire. It could help you if you use it for your own good, but it could burn you if somebody else is using it against you. So just look around next time you walk into a shop, or if you try to do some online shopping, and try to see if the bonuses you are getting are really there to give you some added value, or are just there to hook you to do more buying the next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Havran, very much for your speech. Now, okay, what's next? Michal. Havran?
Yes.
We continue with you.
Yes, I had to switch from the speaker to the Toastmaster of the evening. So, thank you, Peter. Thank you, myself. And I would like to invite to the stage my evaluator, which is Sonia. Sonia, please, the screen or the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. I was given the pleasure to evaluate Havran's speech, and because it's a second speech, he was given some feedback previously. I will shortly tell what he was suggested, that he needs to work a little bit more with the structure. It should have more clear opening, body, and conclusion, that the transitions should be more clear, and the end should be clear how we can protect ourselves against the gamification, that the information should be a bit tidy up, and maybe use more questions or tell us more about the dark side. I will start straight away with the opening. It was great with the question, if I forget the fact that Havran used as the first word so I'm forgetting it, or I'm trying somehow erasing it. Otherwise, it was a very nice start. I like that you used the question with the games, and that you involved us, that we could raise the hand or give you some kind of sign that we are listening. It's a very good to use the questions at the beginning to see the involvement of the audience. I like that in the main body you explain what the gamification is, that it's the reinforcing of the stimulus, and that you use some principles which is used in the gamification. What I really appreciate was that the main part was with the real life examples, because technically if I'm not really a gamer, I'm not really sure what to look for. So for me, it was great to hear that, okay, Duolingo system, that they're using the rewards. Then you have that university problem where they created the game and how it was solved. I like really a lot that finance and the reward cards, because that's a thing we used, all of us. And that's a really good example where we can see how it works and what we can do with it. I as well like the fact how you put that dark side into that, with that other side who is using the rewards in a way that it's only rewarding you when you buy and buy and buy and buy more. So there was that darker side involved. I as well enjoyed the fact that you use some hand gestures and you use your voice. Careful with the fact that your hand gestures were again in the lower side of the camera, so sometimes we saw only just the fingers and your left hand wasn't visible whatsoever. So unfortunately, if you showed us with something with the left hand, I don't know. However, I like that you used the intonation, that you, especially in that part when you were talking about that university game, and you said that that was the problem which was 15 years and the gamers solved it in just few weeks. There was really good time when you use the pause after every time or every word, and that was really important for us to realize that the gamers and their involvement can shorten the time and can be a beneficial thing. So that was as well really nice. And the closing was half-half, I would say. I noticed where the closing started, and you started with, I could be speaking about gamifications for hours and hours. My suggestion would be to that part, the last sentence, that look around and see the bonuses if they really add the value. You put it into too long sentence, make it a bit shorter and a bit more with the punch, that watch out, the rewards are really beneficial, or is it just to get you buy more or something like that. So that last sentence has more impact for us as the listeners, to be aware that we can meet it whenever, we are just not aware how it influences us. Overall, I really like it. There was an improvement, but there is still a place to, or way where you can do better, and I will send you more notes later on. Thank you very much for your speech.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Now, as before, I'm opening a panel discussion. If there are any more evaluations that would, Lenka?
Yes, thank you for the space to speak again. And as Sonia said, there were many good places. And what I would like to look more on how to improve, because I think, Michal, that you have a great potential to become a great speaker. You have a lot to speak about, and you have amazing knowledge about the topic. So it is really good. You can base your speech on very, how to say, a huge amount of information. English is sometimes difficult. So what I would like, not using so as well, what I would like to suggest to do better, as Sonia said, short sentences. Make sure that your sentences are really short, like the noun and the verb, and I don't know how it's in English called, but really short sentences. At least 5 words in one sentence, it is okay. When you use examples, for example, with the university, tell me more about this example. Which university, where, what professors, what research, what name, where can I find more details about this example? It might be good for people who like to read, and on the other hand, also you will raise your credibility. It's not like imagined example, but it's real. And emotions. Gamification is a great topic. And as Sonia as well said, the dark side of gamification, how it influences us. I would like to hear more about it. Why should I pay attention to gamification? Why should I be aware of it? Why should I make sure that I can resist gamification, for example? But it's the goal of your speech. What is the goal of your speech? To inform us, to motivate us, to persuade us, to inspire us. I'm not quite clear on this. And one last saying about English, since we don't have grammarian today. You use volume of customer. I think amount of customers is, or number of customers is better used than volume. You can raise the volume in the music, but not the volume of customers. Evaluator, which is, it's a person, so you use who. Evaluator, who is. And that's all. I hope that I didn't kill you, Michal.
Thank you, Lenka. We do have time for more if anyone is interested.
Can I suggest also for our speaker? Is it okay? Yes, okay. Yes. So because I love the speech today, especially also with Toastmaster Tereza, I would like to suggest when you do a speech, always remember this acronym, CODA. That's what we call code. How you do the coding when you do speech. C stands for your content. Your content was so amazing. I really love your content. That's a perfect content for me. I would say from the title itself, it catch my attention. That's perfect. Nice word. The next letter is O, the organization. Now in Toastmasters, we call this one the power of three. If you're familiar with the power of three, limit your story in three aspects. I know you have a lots of things to talk about gamification, but limit only with three aspects. Maybe you will start with the story about online shopping because we have lots of girls here and they know about shopping. So this way you can catch their attention. Then you can go through to the finances and to the game. Limit only three. What I love the most about your organization is your ending. You have a great ending, good imposition of ending, a little bit abrupt, but it's a nice ending. Just work on three stories because your stories today is a lot. And D, delivery. The way you deliver, the way you speak is very great. I would say you're a great speaker. You have a good intonation, great registry on the audio. Just like the first evaluator said, go a little bit backward so that we can see your hands because you're moving your hands and a little bit like here. So move backward just like the first speaker, Toastmaster Tereza. Good imposition of your speech. You go a little bit backward so that we can see how you register yourself. And that's the perfect thing. And the most important is E, which is entertaining. That is the most important thing in every speech. You know how to entertain your audience. And for you, Toastmaster Michael, you've done that one. Just a little bit more. The story was too long. Let's make the story a little bit a lot of stories been done. Limit into three. I know you're a great speaker someday. And also for the first speaker, Toastmaster Tereza, I love your story as well. So I look forward for more stories in your thing someday soon. I will attain more. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you very much. Did I see another hand? I think I saw another raised hand from our second guest. Not sure if it was clapping or raised hand?
I think it was clapping.
Okay. So with this evaluation, the speeches are over and the evaluations are over. And now it's time to continue with our Counter Tereza. Tereza, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Michael. Dear Toastmasters members, dear friends, dear guests. Today I was your counter, and that means that I was focusing on the bad words we are using all. Bad words includes, for example, but also and or and. But also there are repetition of one word in your speech or while you are speaking, and that was what I was focusing on today. We will start with our Toastmasters of the evening, Michal. While he was explaining the beginning stuff, he was using two times. Then there was a little stuttering, is. It was three times, and then he uses a lot the, which is very long. It was for 5 times, so your total score is 10 for the beginning. Then we can continue with Tereza, our speaker one, with her wonderful speech. She used and 3 times, 2 times, and then there was a little stuttering too. 3 times. First one was explain, then it was where, and then it was bye. And make attention to your repetitions because you used, for example, 5 times in your speech. So instead of that, you can use, for example, such as or other words for this. So your total score for today was 13. Then we will continue with Lenka, our first evaluator, with her evaluation, which was really great. We will start with him for 6 times. Then you use twice like, and once you said so with a really long beginning. So your total score today was 9. Next was our panel discussion, where there was only one evaluator, Sonia. She used only one hum, so congratulations. And then our second speaker, Havran, I think he's really unconcentrated today because he was using hum for 19 times. And then his favorite and was and so on was for 10 times. And also a little one stuttering on the beginning, I. So your total score for your speech was 30. I hope next time you will do better. And now our second evaluator, Sonia. For your evaluation, it was really great too. You used only 3 and twice and. So your total score for your evaluation is 5. Of course, our winner of today was Peter, who was introducing our evaluations and our panel discussions, and also our speeches, and his score was 0. So please, congratulations to Peter. And at the end, our panel discussion with Lenka in the beginning, 4 times hum, and the second panel evaluator, Pharaoh, which had also 0 bad words. So congratulations, and thank you for my report. Thank you for your speeches, and I hope we will see each other next time. Back to you, Michal.
Thank you, Tereza. Now it's time for Damian, and he's going to test you if you paid attention during the meeting. So Damian, please explain the rules to us, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, thank you, Havran, for introducing me. And like you said, I'm gonna test your attention. There will be 5 questions, and if you know answer, write it privately to me. And let's warm up by first question, and that is, what was Tereza's question at the beginning of her speech?
If you ever appeared in a conflict situation.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Next question. What challenge gave Lenka to Teresa?
To turn the speech upside down, to use storytelling more.
Yeah, turn the speech upside down. Next question was how we can use gaming in finance and other aspects of life, and you can name 2 things, or at least 2 things. There was more. Yeah, answer was achievements or rewards or collectible scars or any other stuff. Havran introduced us create your own pet or story opinion in games. What emoji was for that? There was 2 emojis, and one was for create your own story. You can send me that emoji into chat if you want.
For the first, it was thumb up, and for the second was clapping.
Yeah, that's correct. What was next question? What was name of game which scientists create for their unsolved problem? What was name of this game? I'm looking at this hard question. It was Fold or Foldit. And last question. Gamification is like, and feel the word. Yeah, gamification is like far. And this is last question. Thank you for your, if you answer all the questions, then congratulations. And that's all.
Thank you, Damian. Now, last but not least, I would like to once again ask to our stage or to our screens the general evaluator of the evening, Peter. Peter, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Havran. Thank you for coming today. I really appreciate you being here. Now, my role is, I believe, a very important one. because everyone is here for a reason, to get an evaluation, to grow, to learn, to be someone better than they are now. So let me help you with that. We started late. We started really late. General idea that was introduced not that long ago was the fact that we would like to have our meetings for 60 minutes. It's over an hour and we are not far from done. But I'll get back to that. Havran, as a moderator and your introduction of the Toastmasters, I'm glad that you told us about what Toastmasters International is, what they do, and then also a bit about us. Consider switching them around. First, you tell them about us, and then, yeah, we are also part of an organization that does something, and it's a great bunch of people. One thing I've noticed, and this is really good stuff, because we told you a lot of times to move your microphone somewhere, and you did. We can see you very clearly. It's good to see you. It's really good to see you. Rules. Thank you for explaining the rules of today's meeting. I really appreciate that. It was quiet here, people weren't interrupting, and it was good. Lenka. Lenka has a really good positivity vibe. She's really uppity. I don't know what word to use for this. Lenka always has a good energy and it's infectious, basically. So whenever I see Lenka, I'm like, yeah, more good energy for me. Thank you, Lenka, for that. Lenka was very specific and she utilized some really dramatic pauses that made the bomb really drop. Good stuff, Lenka. She had some great recommendations about the feelings in the story. I totally agree with that. Every story needs some sad, crying scenes, and those are just described in details. And you had a very encouraging ending. Thank you. Right, so another note in my fantastic notebook. What's up with the timer? I'm like, okay, Lenka is talking, everyone is talking. Isn't this taking a bit long? Are you seeing why timer is so necessary on a meeting? Now imagine Lenka would be one of those really talkative ones, and she would have a lot of notes, and she could go on for 10 minutes and would be everyone just like, yeah, good stuff, but yeah, for 10 minutes, no. Sonia, thank you for coming. It's good to see you, even though you are so far away. When you are, this goes to Damian as well. This goes to basically everyone who has a phone and is on the phone right now for this meeting. When you choose to sit in front of the phone, have the camera in a way that it's like straight in front of you, that you are not looking like from down there on you, you know, or maybe you're not looking like hey. Okay, that was a bit long. Never mind that. So when you use a phone, what I like to do with the phone, and if you don't mind standing, since we are supposed to be for 1 hour, it's doable. Just put the phone somewhere on the shelf and stand in front of it for those 60 minutes. What's next? Hello, good. Tereska. Tereska was very specific. She has a good voice, and she was very, 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 very detailed. Like really detailed. Thank you very much for that you took the time and effort to write all of these things and pay attention to all of them. Only recommendation I have, if you are missing a timer, pick timer. That goes to all basically. Detail. Damian, thank you for taking this role. you explain to us the rules of how you are going to go about this, what you are going to do, how this is going to go. You are going to write me messages, and then we go on. Now, this has its good side and its bad side. The good side is it's in order, right? So you get a message, we continue, and you know who won, who has some so-and-so points. And yeah, that's good. The downside of this is that when people are writing, it's quiet here. It's really quiet. So either fill that quiet, just like maybe commenting or like, no, that's not right, and just make some kind of comments, you know? What you could try also is, this role has a specific, for me at least, meaning because it's more towards the end of the meeting, and you have an option to cheer up the crowd, to work with it, you know, to either lighten the mood or lower it, and that's all the energy that you can bring to the crowd, right? And prepare them for the last part of the evening, which is general evaluation. So what worked for me on live meetings, it could work as well here. Simple rule, the first one who shouts it wins. And if he's right, of course, right? Might not work as good since the audio through the internet doesn't carry so many voices at once, but I would like to see how it goes. Now also, timer again, imagine if you had 20 questions, not 5. We would be here for a long time. Points, right, and make a competition out of it, right? So who has how many points, make a small certificate or plaque, or let everyone applaud the winner. Any kind of winning is good winning. That's good, thank you for the role. Needed. Right, that's about it from me. Thank you very much all for coming. That's the evaluation part. And I was asked to also finish this meeting with a closing question. And I prepared a very nice one today. I will go and ask each and every one of you one question. And I want you to reply to me in one sentence. Not a really long one sentence, one simple sentence, okay? What is the nicest thing you've done for yourself today? What is the nicest thing you've done for yourself today? And I will start. The nicest thing I've done for myself today is coming to this meeting and staying for a long time, for the whole meeting basically, because for the last couple of meetings I couldn't stay since we weren't making that 60-minute meetings. But today I ditched the other activity, so I'm staying. Okay, let's go on with Paz. How do you pronounce your name, Paz? Start with that and then tell us what's the nicest thing.
That's right.
That's right? Okay.
That's right, yes. I bought myself a book today.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
That's
you.
one sentence.
That's absolutely all right. Thank you. Farao?
Okay, the best thing that I've done today is to repot my plants, repotting my plants. So I transferred it from one pot to another pot, a better pot.
Okay. Thank you very much. Tereza?
For today, I have started again to do some yoga, and for today it was a full 30 minutes yoga flow, so I'm really glad for that.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. Tereza? Či Terka teraz?
Okay. Yes, I will continue. What I did, I managed the meeting with my friend to review the dances from my dance group, and we will have camp next week. That's it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Havran?
Well, today I slept a lot because for the past few days I was working at my girlfriend's place, and we had like 5 hours sleep a night. So today I slept a lot, and man, that was just what I was missing.
That's that one simple sentence I was looking for, right? Thank you, Havran. Lenka?
Today I bought myself a really delicious sweet cake.
Now I envy you that. Okay, and lastly, Ludovic.
I ate these sweets.
Okay, everyone likes, some people like sweets. I like sweets a lot. So that's it, basically, guys, for today.